Nothing says Christmas quite like a glazed ham. Today we are running a 4.5 kilo smoked leg ham from Sinclair Meats, finished with a whiskey citrus glaze from Salis Artisan Foods. This one turned out better than expected, so let's run through exactly how I did it. Alright, today we're doing one of my favourite Christmas cooks, a proper glazed ham. This one's about 4.5 kilos from Sinclair Meats, and I'm running it in the Masterbuilt Gravity 800 with a few other local products that I use on quite a regular basis. The whole idea with ham is to take it relatively slow, don't rush it. It's about building flavour slowly and getting that glossy, sticky finish on it. So I'll take you through exactly how I prep it, how I glaze it, and how I carve it at the end. Let's see how this rolls. I always start a ham cook pretty much the same way. Skin off, fat on. If you get your fingers under the edge of the skin and lift gently, it'll usually peel away pretty cleanly. I like to take my time here because the fat underneath is what holds all the flavour and keeps that ham juicy. You want that fat intact, that's where the glaze will cling, that's where the colour builds, and that's what gives you that deep glossy Christmas finish once everything comes together. Once the skin's off, it's time to score. Don't go too deep, you're just cutting into the fat, not the meat. Diamond pattern lets the heat, smoke and glaze work their way in, and honestly it just looks great. Nicely scored ham always gets comments. For my binder on this cook, I'm using the black garlic mustard from the Pickle Project. This stuff is awesome and I use it on just about everything. It's not just a mustard, it adds real depth and savoury sweetness that works perfectly with ham. A light coat is really all you need. Then there's the rub. This Little Piggy from Black Market Spice. It's designed for pork and it sticks beautifully to that mustard. Moderate coat, not heavy. The ham's already salty because it's cured, so we're working more on flavour and colour than big seasoning for this one. At this point it's starting to look the part, but there's still a fair way to go. We're cooking this one on the Masterbuilt Gravity at about 250 Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius. Nice and gentle because the ham's already smoked and cooked. The goal here is flavour layering and slow warming. If you go too hot, you'll dry it out before the glaze has time to set. Once the internal temp hits around 50 degrees Celsius, we start glazing. This is where the magic happens. The Salis glaze is sticky, it's aromatic, and it caramelizes beautifully. I like to build it in layers, thin coats every 15 to 20 minutes or so. You don't want to drown it. Think of this more like painting than pouring. People do tend to overcomplicate hams. Low and slow is definitely the way to go. You're not necessarily cooking the ham, you're just slowly warming it through so the glaze can set without the meat drying out. The Masterbuilt set at 120 degrees Celsius is ideal because it's consistent and it's gentle. And with a cured ham, consistency beats aggression every time. With each glaze layer, you'll see the colour deepen. A good glaze shouldn't slide right off, it should tack, cling and slowly build up. The heat does half of the work for you. This glaze from Salis Artisan Foods is unreal. It's thick, it's sweet, it's sharp and it caramelises beautifully. If you're buying a glaze instead of making one, make sure it's not watery. Thin supermarket glazes just slide off. You want something with body so it actually builds flavour layer by layer. The combo of the Pickle Project mustard and this Little Piggy from Black Market Spice is a fantastic combination, I reckon. The mustard gives you that real umami type flavour to it as a base, and the rub brings out the balance in it. People do often ask me if you actually need a rub for ham. You don't really, but I reckon it makes that finish just so much better. This is why I love cooking hams. It's one of the few cooks where you're rewarded visually at every stage. It goes from pale to golden to glossy, right in front of you. By your third coat, the glaze is really gripping to those scored diamonds. You can see it settling into all those little channels we cut earlier, and this is where the ham really starts to transform. Each layer melts slightly, then tightens back up as the heat rolls over it. So you get this beautiful build up rather than a single heavy splash of glaze. You want that little bit of bubbling, that slight shine. That's the sugars caramelizing and locking themselves onto the surface. And honestly, this is the stage where you know it's going to finish strong. The colours deepen, the aroma changes, and you can actually see the glaze thickening with every pass. It's one of my favourite parts of the whole cook. One thing with ham, and probably one of the most important things with ham, is the timing. People assume it's going to be a quick cook, but it takes longer than you think. And if you want that glaze to set properly, you really need to time it properly. I would allow 3 to 4 hours, particularly for a larger ham. Lay your glaze slowly, every 20 minutes or thereabouts, and don't rush the finish. A ham cooked too fast is just going to sweat. It's going to be patchy. It's not going to finish well. Slow and steady will always win. For the final coat, I like to bump the pit temp up slightly just to set the glaze properly. Not too long, just enough to get that deep varnish finish you can see here starting to form. The higher heat helps the sugars tighten and shine without taking the colour too far. You're really just trying to tack it into place, not burn it, and it only takes a few minutes for everything to come together beautifully. After a short rest, slicing into this ham was incredible. You can see how juicy it stayed. That gentle cook makes all the difference when it comes to slicing. The glaze adds a sticky, sweet crust, and every slice has that perfect balance of smoke, salt, and sweetness. And that's really it. That's the Christmas ham cook. Super simple, heaps of flavour, and honestly perfect for feeding a crowd. If you want to try the glaze or the rub, I'll tag the brands in the description. Let me know what you're cooking for Christmas this year and enjoy. Christmas ham. It's got to be one of my favourite cooks, particularly at this time of year. It's simple, it smells incredible, and look, everyone loves it, particularly my kids. You can serve it hot, serve it cold, turn it into toasties, have heaps of leftovers with it, particularly one of these bigger ones. It's one of those cooks that really feels like Christmas, particularly the second you score that fat at the start. Can't go wrong. Thanks for watching, legends. If you enjoyed this Christmas ham cook, hit the like button and subscribe for more barbecue cooks, tips and weekend experiments. Drop a comment if you've got a favourite glaze or ham tradition. I'm always keen to try something new.